images, which image is the actual image of Jesus Christ according to the Bible? Come on over here, real quick, so you can see it good. Which one of these images are the actual image of Jesus Christ in the earth? The true, because Christ did walk the earth, right? Right, so we agree on that. So is this image, this so-called Caucasian-looking image, or is it this image to your left, the black image, as the actual image of Christ? Remember, we look up to you in the community. You're 42 years old. So if I want answers, I'm going to come to you. These two young youth are going to come to you and ask you. You have these two young black men here, and you an older black man. How old are you? You 42. So would you say you a senior man over these two young black men? Brother, okay. So now look. Did you know, looking at these images on this side, and the reason why we stop you, and my brother's trying to show you this, is because you are an aged man. You're the man in the community that people would look up to, right? Because you're a senior man, right? So now watch this. So now with these images on your left, there's two images, one on your far left and one on to your right, okay? Which is to my right. Real quick, Jay, watch this. So with these two images, which image is the actual image of Jesus Christ according to the Bible? Come on over here, real quick, so you can see it good. Which one of these images are the actual image of Jesus Christ in the earth? The true, because Christ did walk the earth, right? Right, so we agree on that. So is this image, this so-called Caucasian-looking image, or is it this image to your left, the black image, as the actual image of Christ? Remember, we look up to you in the community. You're 42 years old. So if I want answers, I'm going to come to you. These two young youth are going to come to you and ask you. Understand? Give me Deuteronomy 32:7. So this is what they're going to do. They're asking you about their history and their nationality. So if they ask you, what would you tell them? So you're saying he's black, right? Y'all stay right there. I want to show y'all something. So which one is it? This image or this image? So remember, are you a father? All right, watch this. Read this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old.
So the Bible says to remember the days of old. Where do we remember the days of old? It's from the scriptures. It's where we got to go. Read.
Consider the years of many generations.
So consider the years of your forefathers, Jay. These young youths have to consider the years of their leaders, their men and mothers before them. Read.
Ask thy father.
Ask who?
Thy father.
Who?
Thy father.
It says ask the father. You are father in the neighborhood. Read.
And he will show thee.
And he can do what?
He will show thee.
So which one of these images is Jesus Christ?
Right.
Read.
Thy elder.
Who?
Thy elder.
You're an elder in the community. Read.
And they will tell thee.
They're going to do what?
They will tell thee.
So my brother Jay, tell these young men which image is the actual image of Christ. This one here? Now, what proof do you have of that? Give me Revelations. What proof do you have? Because these young men need to understand that if Christ is a black man, why are we killing each other? Why is the so-called Caucasian man putting this image out there in the earth?
Right.
You know, they need to understand that. You're the senior man. So where would we find out proof that Christ is a black man? Watch this.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So this is the description of Jesus Christ in the Bible. His head and his hairs were white like wool. White in color, woolly in texture. What kind of texture hair do so-called black people have? What kind of texture hair? Look at this brother's hair. Isn't that not woolly in texture? Is my brother's hair not woolly in texture? Right. So is it going to be this image so far? This is yellow, thin, stringy horse hair. This ain't it. So far, the image to your left is the actual image according to the Bible.
Right.
So if they're going to ask their fathers, their elders and whatnot, this is what you're going to tell them. Keep reading.
As white as snow.
As what?
As snow.
So watch, hold on, Ray. As what? White as snow.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And his eyes was a flame of fire. Are the whites of your eyes actually pure white, or they have like a yellow redness to it? Because what? When the black Hispanic man drink wine in moderation, okay, Christ drank wine in moderation, the whites of the eyes was red. That's why it says as a flame of fire. Read.
And his feet.
His what?
His feet.
So if my brother, if my youth here did not have socks on. Would I not be able to tell what color your feet is? So Christ had sandals on his feet, Jay. Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
His feet was what color?
Fine brass.
What color is brass? What color is brass? Like a derivative of bronze. A derivative of brown is the color of brass. So look, so John describing Christ is like, this man had white woolly hair, and when I'm looking at his feet, it's the color of brass. But it don't end there. Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Now you take that brass color and you put it in a furnace of fire. What does fire make something? Dark black. So Jesus Christ, according to the Bible, is a dark-skinned black man.
That's right.
So now, as a leader and an elder in the community, every young youth, black, Hispanic, and Native American man should be able to go up to you, should be able to go up to all of us senior men and say, look, I want to ask you about my history. I'm tired of asking the white man, the Chinese man, and these lying school curriculums about my history. You have to understand that you are important, my brother. You got to know that. I know you itching to walk away, but my brother, you got to know this information. So when the next brother asks you a question, y'all got to be able to give reason. I see y'all trying to slip away. Come on real quick. Come back up here. Y'all are the youth. Okay, what you got to talk? You got that drink for your mama? But you drinking it. But you drinking it. But you drinking your mama drink. How much left in that cup?
A lot.
A whole lot?
Fill it.
It ain't half filled now. Hey, give me 2 more minutes of your time. Hey, Mishael, come back up here. Where you at? Hit him on. Hit the brothers on.
Right. You're Jews according to the Bible. You hear me? Right? You're not black. You're not African American. Right? Get Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. You hear me? What's your name again? Right? Look. I know you're about to walk away, right? But it's important for you to know this, right?
I know.
We're trying to teach you your nationality according to the Bible. Y'all are not black and African American, right? All right. I'm gonna give you this Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. Watch what God says about y'all. Just hear this and then y'all can go. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy
You
God.
hear that? Do you know what holy means? What does it mean? It means separate, right? We're a separate people from everybody. Read that.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
You see that? God said we're above everybody that's on the face of the earth. That's why they changed this image from this to this. Because look, this is the images that we had. Look, these are white people painting Christ white, right? And they did that to make y'all feel like you're less than nothing, right? But God said we're above everybody. Sis, y'all two just came up, right? Which one of these is Jesus? This one or this one? Right? This one right here? Hey, sis, what's your name? Michaela, what's your name?
Egypt.
What is it?
Egypt.
Egypt?
But my real name is
Emmanuel, right? What's your name? What's your name?
It's in the Bible.
Jalu, right? Which one of these? Come here, sis. Which one of these is Jesus? This or this? This or this? Which one of these is Jesus? He says this. What do you say? You say this, right? What do you say? You say this too? Right? Which one is Jesus? Right? Look, he's the only right one, right? But how can you prove that, right? I'm going to show you. We're going to read it out of the Bible.
The book of Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14.
Right at verse 1. Pay attention, sis. Right?
The book.
Why did they give us this image? Because this is a lie. I'm going to tell you straight up. This is not Jesus. All right? But you think it's Jesus. Why do you think it's Jesus? Because they went throughout the four corners of the earth and they put our people to death when they brought us over here on slave ships. Right? This happened to us. This happened to us. This is how we came here. 100 years ago, this was it. Okay, what's your question?
So you tell me that is Jesus?
I'm telling you that this is Jesus. We're not saying that. Look, we're not saying this is exactly what he looks like, right? But if you went to somebody and they're like, describe this person and you drew them out, right? It's gonna be a closer depiction of him, right? We're not saying this is exactly what he looks like, but this is his features. You understand? This is a lie. Right? But they lied to this. They lied to us about this to make us feel like that we're nothing. Because they called us porch monkeys, right? They called us Negroes. They put us in the hood. They put us in the worst places. Right? Read that. We're going to read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Watch this.
The revelation of Jesus Christ,
Right? The root word of revelation is to reveal. All right? Read.
which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Right, jump to verse 14. Watch this, right? We read, look, we read not the Holy Bible right now, right? Right? Hey, y'all pay attention. He gonna come out. Look, this is the greatest news. Y'all might not know this, but this is the greatest news you ever gonna hear.
Right.
God
That's
looks
right.
like you. And we gonna read it out of the Bible. This ain't God. God has hair like you. We're gonna read that right now. Verse 14.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Right? His head and his hair was white like wool. Sis, bro, little bro, right? What text is wool, a texture, or a color? Y'all know a sheep?
Yes.
A sheep, what kind of hair does sheep have?
White, black.
But what type? Is it straight and stringy like this?
No, it's like white.
Feel your head.
It's like that.
Feel your head. No, touch your head. Not you, because you got a perm in your head. But look,
I do.
right, look. Look, touch your hair. That's woolly hair, right? That's why my sister, I ain't trying to pick on you, but the reason you straighten your hair is because you think this is God. But God has hair like this. Your mama, I'm telling you, that's why our sisters do it. Let me ask y'all a question, right? Do our sisters keep their woolly hair? What type of hair do they do? Do they straighten their hair or do they keep it natural?
Sometimes straighten hair.
They do it all the time. The majority of our sisters straighten their hair because they think that this is God. They don't know that, look, hey, feel the hair on your head. They don't know that God has woolly hair. The hair that they call nappy, that's the hair God got. We read that out of the Bible. Read that.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So we talking about Christ, right? It says his head and his hair were white like wool. Which one of these has white woolly hair? That one, right? So this is strike one against this image. This is the lie that they told our people, sis. You got the hair of God. God gave you his hair. Do you understand that? We got the best hair. Think about it. You could do whatever with your hair. You could straighten it. You could corn roll it. What can you do with hair like this? Nothing. It just lays flat and dead. Read that.
As white as snow.
It was fully white. Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So John is looking at his feet, and he said his feet like unto fine brass. Bro, come over here. Come over here. What's your name? How you doing?
How you doing?
My name is Mishael. Look, we going over the true depiction of Jesus, right? Which one of these is Jesus? This or this? This one? Which one? What do you think? No, don't say it. Look, don't say it because I'm wanting you to say this one. What do you think Jesus looked like? If you Google Jesus right now, what's going to come up? This image or that image? This image, right? So we're reading out the Bible right now what the true depiction of Jesus is, right? Read that. Start that over. Read that.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Right? So is wool a color or a texture, bro? What did you say your name was again? What is it? I can't hear you. John? All right, so it said he had woolly hair, right? Who got woolly hair on the planet? What people? What race of people?
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Read.
And his feet.
Right, and he looked down at his feet. Read.
Like unto fine brass.
His feet like unto fine brass. What color is brass? What color is brass? Like a penny. A penny is brown, right? So Christ is brown. Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if they burned in a furnace. So we read in the Bible, right? It said Christ was so dark, it looked like he was burned in a furnace. What color would that be? Is he light-skinned according to that? No. Christ is a dark, Jesus Christ, the greatest man that ever walked the face of the planet, looks like y'all, right? He has hair like you're supposed to have if you don't straighten it out. But like I said, a lot of our sisters, they straighten their hair. Like, I'm going to ask you, right, because you're a little bit older than them, right? A lot of our women, right, what type of hair do they choose to keep on their head? Do they wear their hair naturally or do they put wigs on and straighten it? For the most part. Because they think this is God, right? Get Daniel 7 and verse 9. This is not God, this is a lie. This is a lie, right? So why would they lie to us and give us this image when Christ looks like y'all? To make us feel like we were nothing. Watch this. This is what God did. So Christ has woolly hair, right? This Christ. What does his father look like? Read.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9.
This is the Most High God that created, that gave Christ the power to create out all things. What does he look like? Read.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
Right, the Ancient of Days meaning God, the Most High God, because he exists outside of days. Right, read.
Whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head
The hair of God's head, the creator of all things. Read.
like the pure wool.
Right, God has pure wool hair. You hear that, sis? Wisdom of Solomon 13 and verse 3. Right? So God, right? So God gave us the hair. Hey, bro, come here. You got any questions? Right? You got any questions, sis? Watch this. Wisdom of Solomon 13, right? So God gave you, sis, the hair on his head. Right? So you should be straightening your hair. You should be proud of your hair. Right? Read that.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13 and verse 3. With whose beauty,
Right? With whose beauty, watch this, sis.
if they being delighted, took them to be gods,
Read, watch this.
let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
Right? The Lord of them is. Why? Because God created us in his image. When he decided to create man, he was like, all right, I'm going to make man and he's going to look just like me. God has woolly hair, so the first man, Adam, right, had woolly hair too. Right? Read.
For the first author of beauty,
For the first author of what?
beauty
The first author of beauty, read.
hath created them.
Right? The first author of beauty is God. And God says, God gave you his hair. You got the best hair. You don't need a permit no more. Right? Hey.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.